So we can just
Yeah.
dive into it.
Well, I'm ready whenever.
What's up, y'all? Danny here. Brooke back for another Confidently Flawed podcast episode. It is that time. The presidential election is here, 2024, and we just had our first debate between our two candidates here. We got Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. I know a lot of you guys have different opinions, different people, your different, viewpoints and individuals that you are either fighting for or fighting against based on policies, based on beliefs, based on what you've heard or what you see going on. And we know it's a very, very passionate time. And all know that can rev up a lot of emotions and start to put things on the back burner in other ways. And obviously, we here at Raw Fitness and the Confidently Flawed podcast, we are a health and fitness podcast, right? Our goal is to, as we say, give you the secret sauce to living a healthy and happy life. And some of you might be thinking, like, what does that have to do with Kamala versus Trump, right? And that's the age old thing. And you may be on one side of the aisle or the other. And what we want to do here today is teach you what to fight for or who to fight for when it comes to everything going on. And it might be a little bit different than what you're thinking, though. And regardless of who it is that you're going to be voting for or who you want to see win and who you're watching and, listening in on and trying to figure out, the person that you should be fighting for is actually yourself. Here's the thing. It doesn't matter who wins. Is it going to affect our life? Is it going to have some impact on us? Sure. But not as much as you improving yourself, you improving your health. That is going to have a much more drastic improvement in your individual little pocket of the world life, way more than any type of president ever will, right? And it doesn't mean you have to dismiss it or not vote or, not stick up for your beliefs and what you think is right and everything there. You can still do that. But what we want to say here is we want to see you fight for yourself more so than you fight for your next, your next president, because it's going to have a much bigger impact on yourself. And when it comes to that, it's Brooke, whose responsibility is it to make those changes? If we're not happy with our health and fitness, is it to wait for the next president because they're going to fix it, or whose responsibility is it? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, something that I always say and I will always say is you are the gatekeeper of your home, and no president is the gatekeeper of your home, no politician, no doctor, no nobody. Like, you are in charge of your life. And yes, do I believe presidential elections can make a difference? In a way, yes, but a president is not going to make you cook a certain meal. A president is not going to drag you to the gym. A president is not going to make you healthier. A president is not going to help remove the toxins from your home, right? That's something that you are in charge of. You are in charge of your life. And I think that, quite frankly, and to be completely blunt and honest, I think we put so much of our excuses on other people. And those people include the president. And then we feel the president's going to come save us all because they're going to be in charge. But like, you're taking so much less accountability by putting it on other people. Yes.
Yeah.
Do I believe a president can make an influence? For sure. There are certain presidential candidates that have, certain stances that are going to potentially help our health. Yeah. But at the end of the day, they're not the ones in your home. And to be completely honest, they don't even know you. Like, they could probably truly care less. Like, they're more worried about so many other things. And to put your energy and to put your life into a presidential candidate when they aren't the ones that are dragging your ass to the gym, excuse my French, but like, they're not the ones doing that. You have to do that. You have to take accountability for your actions. You have to take accountability for the way that you eat. Like, they're not going to stop you from eating Big Macs every single day. Like, they're not going to be there to do that. You have to do that. And I think that we put so much of our energy and our hope, and I'm not saying you can't be political. Like, y'all, like, I very much so am. but we put so much of our energy and our time and our focus into these presidential elections. And I mean, you look at social media and it's just a nonstop battle. And it's like, what if you put the amount of energy that you put debating somebody on social media into caring about your health? I mean, like,
Exactly.
hello.
It's so like it's so obvious, and it's like I get it. Like I get passionate too sometimes when I read stuff or whatever it is, right? It's so hard not to. But to your point, like that's such a critical thing that we express so much energy into that. If we just took that energy and put it to actually something that's probably going to impact us more, like why wouldn't we do that? Like, because here's the
Right.
thing: Trump and Kamala are not going to come save us. They are not
Hmm.
going to save our situation. Yes, can some of the things that they do affect our economy? Can it affect, how much groceries cost? Can it affect the gas prices? Can it affect this or that? Sure, it can. But we still have the power to choose what we're going to do in that scenario. Maybe that means you can't buy the groceries that you want to, but there's still groceries that you can buy. There's still decisions you can make within that. Maybe you can't afford a gym membership at some point, but you can still go out and walk. You can still go out and do push-ups. You can still go and move your body, right? And
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is like we almost like Brooke, what you said, like, we put our excuses, we put our situations on other people,
Mm.
expecting that when this happens, then I'll do this. There's never going to be a perfect time. Whether it's Kamala or Trump gets elected, you're still going to be in the same situation that you're in physically. So why not go and do something about it now? There's never
Yeah.
going to be that perfect scenario and situation for you to do that. So like make the decision that it's your responsibility to change your situation if you are not happy with it. And you're the only one that can actually do that, regardless of who the president is.
Yeah.
So instead of waiting for that perfect time, waiting for the perfect situation, anything there, if you're unhappy with the way your body looks or feels, the way you feel, the way you're acting, what your career is, go out there and take action on what that can be, right? And if you do that, it's going to make a much bigger impact on your life than Kamala or Trump being elected.
Yeah. I think another thing I want to touch on too on this subject is the amount of fear I think that people have of which way the election's going to go. And if you are listening to this and you're like, I am just so afraid if Trump gets in office, or I am so afraid if Kamala gets back in office. How is and again, that goes back to control what you can control. Yes, you can
Yeah,
vote. Like, yes, you can go and that's, but at the end of the day, there's only so much that you can do to control the election. You stressing out, you freaking out, you getting in heated debates on social media is not anything that you can control, right? But what you can control is your life and your health and your wellness. And I don't know about you, Danny, but I would rather feel good and healthy than half of the other things that presidents like actually do and like are in charge of. At the end
yeah,
of the day, if I am unwell and I am unhealthy, like the other stuff doesn't even matter to me because I'm not even living a quality life. So if
yeah,
you can just center your focus in what you can control and what how you act and stop putting the excuses on other people. And I think we see that so much with a presidential year, but then we see it so many like a presidential year goes away, then all of a sudden we're blaming our kids and we're blaming our grandparents and we're blaming our genes and we're blaming our doctors. Like no, like put the ownership on yourself and move forward with how you can serve yourself first. Again, you are the gatekeeper of your home. The president is not standing at your doorsteps being like, "Okay, Sally, what did you get in your grocery bag?" Like, "What was your, heart count today at the gym?" Like, absolutely not. They are not even thinking about that. So I think that we just put so much of our hope and so much of our energy into these presidential elections. And yes, do they matter? For sure. But like our health matters too. And so stop putting the excuses of your health on people like presidents.
yeah. And like if you're one of the people that are like really passionate about this, that you want to help influence other people to sway a certain way, that's okay. But I'm going to tell
Mhm.
you from personal experience, like working with people or like just trying to find role models or be a role model or whatever it is, like the energy wasted on going back and forth on social media comments, you're not going to sway the other person. I can assure you that. And they're not going to
Mhm.
sway you. Right. So, like, what's the point? What is the
Right.
point besides wasted energy? Instead, put that energy towards improving yourself because here's the thing. if that same person on social media that you're fighting with about who should win sees you not fighting with them and sees you
Mm,
living a happy, healthy, successful life, having it all figured out, and they know that you support one of the candidates, I guarantee you you'll sway them that much more. So if you lead by example with your actions,
yeah.
with your life, with your success and things like that, way more than battling with them on comments on policies and
Mm,
what he said or what she said, right? So if you're one of those out there listening that you're like, but I really want people to, I think Trump is the person, or I think Kamala is the person, I think they're the one. I really want to influence people to do that, then go out and lead by example, lead by
mm.
living a positive, healthy, happy, successful life. And then just say, I support this because of this. People are going to be much more apt to listen to you and follow you in that direction versus you trying to battle with them. Because I assure you, they are not going to listen.
Yeah. I love that. And I love, I always say, don't look to people that you don't want to become.
Yeah.
And why would someone look to you on who to vote for if you're someone that they don't want to become or be like? And I think that's so important. And we see that in health and fitness all the time. Like, I mean, there's definitely some people in political power that you look at that are, for example, leading medical things or school health system, and you're just like, oh, you're leading it. Like, you are not the epitome of health that I would imagine. And I
Yeah.
think that like it just goes to show, and I love that, like, if you're going to sit there and put your energy into debating someone or trying to change their mind, especially on something as like opposing as politics, at least be someone that like someone's going to want to become. And again, it all starts with you. It all starts with you not making excuses. It starts with you focusing on yourself, focusing on what you can control, and let what's uncontrollable just be, right?
Yeah. I think so many of us would live in a world of butchering how I'm trying to say this. So, like, we would be all a lot less stressed if we only focus on what we
Mhm.
can control, right? Like, we get
Yeah.
revved up because Trump said this, or we get revved up because we think Kamala said something or did something, right? Like, it's not in our control anyway. So what does it really matter in that grand scheme of things, right? So I guess, Brooke, if you're sitting there in if because here's the thing, some of you guys are listening, you're like, this is crazy, I want this person, right? And you might be like totally turned off by this conversation, and that's okay. But
Yeah.
those that do resonate with what we're saying and say, like, you know what, it is my responsibility to improve my life, not Donald Trump's, not Kamala Harris's. So what can they do to take that first action in taking back control? I know for me, at least, how I view it is, what is my goal, my outcome that I want? And then let me work backwards from there and kind of reverse engineer, how do I get there? And like, what's the first super, super, super tiny thing that I can do? And let me just start to do that for a couple weeks. And maybe it's like, I'm just going to walk more, or I'm going to, every time I make dinner, I'm going to do 20 squats. And just every day you do 20 squats. That's the only thing you do the next 3 to 4 weeks. Something stupid small that you can do and you can commit to that gets you one step closer, that you can control, that's going to get you towards improving your life. Not trying to do the whole gamut and like, oh yeah, they're right. Brooke and Danny, I totally agree. I'm going to go in and I'm going to do this crazy in-depth thing, this meal plan. I'm going to work out every day now for 2 hours a day and blah, 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 blah. Because that's not the right way to do it either. You'll burn yourself out. You're not going to get anywhere. So what's the
Yeah.
one small thing? My opinion is, what is your goal? What is the first step you need to do in that goal? And then just do that for the next 4 weeks, even if it's super small. What about you, Brooke?
Yeah. I think that's going to be so basic, but like just going on the health, like care about your health. And I know that sounds so simple, but like there are so many people in this world that genuinely don't care about their health. They don't feel like they can get better. They just don't put the energy in. They're so out there that they don't even do any. I'm not saying you have to be a research freak, but they're going to believe that Kellogg's cereal is more healthy for you than butter and eggs. Like they're going to go out and believe like, and that's, I think it, when we start to just take the control, like take the care away and put it on other people and have the other people make the decisions for us, that's
Mm,
when our health becomes an issue. So I would just say the basics of like just start caring about your health, and you
yeah.
will be amazed of just actually being like, okay, Brooke, like I am going to do what's going to serve my body today. And like your body knows, like your body is so intuitive. It knows, like, hey, let's go for a walk or let's not eat that. I mean, you get a stomach ache from eating a food, your body is intuitively telling you, hey, we shouldn't be eating that. So, like, start to just care about your body and you will be amazed at how that's going to give you the control back.
Love it. Well, hopefully we didn't rev you up too much, guys, listening to
Mhm.
this, and hopefully you got some value and understanding of like taking back responsibility, not putting excuses on other people and saying, you know what, it's my responsibility. So regardless of who wins in November, go out there, take action for yourself, take back control what you can control, or only focus on that. And you will see a much bigger impact in your life than who is the next president. So until next time, guys, if you got some value from this, we just ask that you like or share this episode with somebody else that you think could value this. Give us a rating and review. That is how we grow this message so we can share it with the community here. And until next time on another Confidently Flawed podcast.